Hi, I'm Alan Ayckbourn's archivist Simon Murgatroyd and delighted to be talking about the Ayckbourn Collection. This was announced in August 2023 and is a donation to Scarborough's museums and galleries of a curated collection of items relating to Alan Ayckbourn, his mentor Stephen Joseph and Theatre in the Round, highlighting their contribution to the cultural heritage and history of Scarborough. I was responsible for curating and facilitating the collection and its donation, and it's been the fulfilment of a long-held ambition to have material relating to Alan Ayckbourn in a public collection in his adopted hometown. Highlights of the collection include an actor's manuscript for Alan's first play, The Square Cat, premiered in Scarborough in 1959, a complete set of manuscripts for the Norman Conquests, which celebrates the 50th anniversary of its world premiere in Scarborough this year. There's also rare programmes, posters, published texts and other manuscripts. There's also material relating to Stephen Joseph and the early years of Theatre in the Round in the town. Highlights here include his innovative designs for what he dubbed the Fish and Chip Theatre, his set designs for Harold Pinter's professional directorial debut with The Birthday Party, which rehearsed in Scarborough during December 1958, and Stephen's personal scrapbook chronicling the early years of Theatre in the Round in Scarborough. So how did this all come about and why is it significant? Well, in 2011 the Ayckbourn Archive was acquired for the nation by the Borthwick Institute for Archives at the University of York. This huge resource consists of tens of thousands of items and needed to find a home in a dedicated archive. Alan was delighted that that home was in Yorkshire. For many years after, as Alan Ayckbourn's archivist, I'd been thinking how a smaller collection could be kept in the town he has become synonymous with over the decades. It's ironic that the town Alan is most associated with has nothing in a publicly held archive which deals with the playwright. I set out to rectify this. In the past couple of years, my work has been taking me out into the wider Scarborough community, as well as leading to the creation of Around Town, a website looking into the history of Theatre in the Round in Scarborough. The timing now felt right to start looking again into creating a more permanent recognition of Alan Ayckbourn's contribution to Scarborough. Having spoken to the Borthwick Institute for Archives where the Ayckbourn Archive is held, they were very supportive of the idea, and I then made a proposal to the Ayckbourns themselves, who approved and gave me time to pursue this very personal project. Over several months, I curated a collection of approximately 60 items drawn from both the Ayckbourn Archive and my own personal archive. The idea was not to create something comprehensive, York covers that, but which consists of significant pieces which told the story of Theatre in the Round in Scarborough and its significance. By necessity, the collection had to be quite contained and quite compact, as I couldn't be certain of where it would go nor how large the archive facilities would be. So I looked for items which had stories to tell. Alan's first play, a manuscript for the little-known play The Sparrow, which is notable for John Nettles making his professional acting debut. An original manuscript for Absurd Person Singular before it was cut after the first night. The Norman Conquests manuscripts. One-of-a-kind posters from the early years of the Theatre in the Round company, including early star casting for a play starring Eileen Derbyshire, 4 years after she joined television's Coronation Street as Emily Bishop. Published scripts seemed important too, as Alan has never been out of print since 1969. So there's his personal copy of his first published work, Relatively Speaking, complete with the coffee cup stain on the cover. And there are manuscripts in French, German and Japanese, giving an idea of how plays which have originated in Scarborough have then gone and travelled around the world. It also seemed vital to incorporate Stephen Joseph into the collection as Alan's most influential mentor. I passionately believe that without Stephen's guidance and influence, Alan would not have become so successful or significant in British theatre. And certainly without Alan embracing Stephen's legacy, the Stephen Joseph Theatre in Scarborough would likely not exist today. With that in mind, I searched for items significant to Stephen, the Fish and Chip Theatre for instance, an early plan for the layout of the Library Theatre, a letter from his mother, the actress Hermione Gingold, and some of the arresting drawings of theatre in the round Stephen drew for his various books. And of course, that book, Theatre in the Round, which chronicles his thoughts and ideas about the theatre form as well as its first decade in Scarborough. I then approached Scarborough Museums and Galleries and immediately found the obvious home for the collection. The Chief Executive, Andrew Clay, and his team, particularly the collections manager Jim Middleton, were exceptionally enthusiastic about the collection and understood its significance to the town. And there were excellent archival facilities where researchers are also welcomed. You can tell the enthusiasm from Scarborough Museums and Galleries, as my initial hope was just the collection would be accepted, available to research, and might, at some point, feed into exhibitions. But an exhibition drawing on material from the collection has already been scheduled for Scarborough Art Gallery from the 16th of September 2023 until early 2024. It's an absolute thrill to know these items are going to be seen by the public with the significance of the donation by the Ayckbourns highlighted. This has been the culmination of 6 months of work for me, alongside years of ambition to bring an archive collection into Scarborough. I'm privileged to have played a role in facilitating this and being part of it. I hope if you're in Scarborough during the autumn and winter, you might pop into the art gallery and share my enthusiasm for the Ayckbourn Collection. The Ayckbourn Collection is important because it helps underline just what Alan Ayckbourn, Stephen Joseph and Theatre in the Round are and why they are essential and significant aspects of the cultural history of Scarborough, and how we can't forget just how much they have contributed to the town's modern cultural history and heritage. Thank you for watching. You can find out more about the collection at Alan Ayckbourn's website and also the Around Town website. I'll also be looking in depth at the Ayckbourn Collection on the Ayckbourn blog in the coming weeks. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and I'll be back soon.